welcome back to Snail's Advice. So this video is actually a part two from my first part video. So in this video we're going to actually talk a little bit about kind of growing up in the or growing out of the living with divorced parents. So now that I'm much older, I actually we moved from California to Atlanta, Georgia, just to get away from all the negativity in California because of what happened with my parents, and it was one of the best things that ever happened. I'm just gonna be very honest. And my dad might be watching this, so sorry, Dad, but so this, yeah, it is one of the best things that has ever happened. When we moved, my dad wasn't really happy about it, just because he was like, okay, when am I ever going to see Sneha? When am I, what's going to happen? And my mom had said, hey, you can always visit her, call her, whatnot, and I'm older, so for me to move is not a big deal. But with my dad, he wanted me to stay with him, in California, not with him, but in California, so he can spend time with me. But it wasn't the best. We didn't have the best relationship, and he knows this, but it's a learning curve with both of us. We're both learning how to be in a relationship, or have a good relationship, a father-daughter relationship. So when we moved, it was, I think, was a bit hard on him, because it was like, I'm the only child, so for him it's like my only child is moving away. But I wasn't like moving all the way to India, that was not the case. I was in the States, or in the United States. But I just want to actually circle back to what I had said in my previous video was about friends. In high school, finally high school came along, and I actually had a lot more, I had more friends. But I made 3 really good girlfriends, and they really were there when whatever I was going through. And one of my girlfriends, she actually is Asian, and she actually has, her parents are divorced. So for me I was able to kind of talk to her about this, and her and I really connected because we both, dealt with divorced parents. And so it was really easy. And her dad was actually, if I'm not mistaken, and I think her dad also was like my dad, just wasn't, they didn't have the best relationship. So I actually really was able to talk to her about a lot of stuff. Sorry, I'm just kind of, so I was really able to talk to her about a lot of stuff. And so when we graduated high school and all that, we kind of drifted apart because we were all in different states. Like, I was in Georgia, she was in Seattle, one of my other friends was in California, California, and the other one of my other girlfriends was I think she still is in Maryland, and the one in California moved to London. So it just, we just kind of drifted apart, but we still keep in touch, we still text, we still talk, and now I've become more mature, these past, I am mature, but, just more mature than I was, like, when I was 18, or, 16 or 18, 16, 17, 18. So, recently I've gotten into, spiritualism. So I will talk a little bit about that in this video, but I might actually talk about it in another video. But that actually helped me a lot with my anxiety and depression, which I do have, and I can also talk about that as well. Maybe that might be my next videos coming up. But, sorry, but so this spiritualism, it's called Dada Bhagwan, or Dada Bhagwan Foundation, and I'll link the website in the description down below, so you guys can check it out. And if you guys are interested, they have various, they have so many centers. So there's a lot in the U.S., and I cannot remember the number off the top of my head. I do know the number, I just can't remember. And their main, I guess, headquarters, or that's the only thing, their main hub is in India, Adalaj, Gujarat. And so that really, being part of this foundation really has helped me with my anxiety and depression. I mean, I still deal with it, but it's not as bad as it used to be. And it's just, it's, I mean, I still, like I said, I still see therapists, and she also even said your anxiety and depression is so much better since you've been part of this foundation. So, but we'll get into that later. But I just kind of wanted to tell you that that's how it kind of helped me with my parents being divorced, and just helping a lot with my childhood questions, if that makes sense, or thoughts or questions that I have. And I've also kind of went down the path of celibacy, which if you guys want to Google it, that's fine. If you're maybe 13 and younger, don't Google it. But if you guys want to Google it, that's fine. Maybe just ask your parents if you're 13 or 13 years younger to ask, just ask them what it means, or they'll kind of explain it a little bit better probably than Google. But and that's also helped me as well. So, but we'll get back and let's circle back. We'll circle back to, we'll circle back to about living with divorced parents. So when I grew up, like I said, I didn't have many friends, but slowly when I started, I guess, how do I say this? When I started getting, when I started high school, I had more friends. I played a lot of sports, so I hung out with a lot of my friends, so that way my parents getting divorced or not getting divorced, my parents being divorced, it didn't affect me that bad. It did, but it wasn't so bad. And I don't want to say a lot about, I don't want to talk a lot about my dad's family, but I will maybe a little bit. But usually, with your grandparents, they would always love you, right? So my grandparents didn't really see me a lot because we were in different cities in California. So it was really hard to really go spend time with them and see them, and they didn't really care to be around me. And it's probably because of what happened with my parents. Also, going back to what happened with my parents, my dad is Tamilian Brahmin, and my mom is Jain Brahmin, and that's two separate subcastes. So, and that's the only way I can. It's like it's the same. We're all Indians, but it's just two separate subcastes. And on my dad's side, my dad's parents wanted my dad to marry a Tamilian Brahmin, which is basically the same subcaste as him. But my parents met in college and they fell in love, and that's how they got married. And then they just fell out of love, obviously, for different for reasons which I'm not going to get into because I want to respect their privacy. So yeah, because that they just I guess my grandparents were just like, okay, well, it's her it's their son's daughter, but we don't really have to worry about that or care about them or care about her, which is not entirely true, but that's just how they were. And so I just kind of felt like, okay, well, what's the point of even having, I guess, grandparents that love you, or however we want to do that, so yeah, I mean, but basically, what's funny is, funnily enough, one of my cousins, one of my cousins, and I don't know if I should say this, but they also kind of are going through the same thing, or they were going through the same thing. And I think it's a good idea for anybody that's really, maybe for anybody that really needs help, like I said, just please, ask your parents, can I please go see a counselor or a life coach or somebody? Because I'm just giving my experience and my advice. I would also say that, with Indian parents, it's a little hard. I mean, for me now, it's a lot easier to open up to both of them. More so with my mom, because I lived with my mom my whole entire life. I still do, which is not a bad thing. I just, I was living on my own for a while, but I couldn't afford it, so I had to move back home, and that happens. It happens, all the time, and it's happening now more so. Sorry, I thought somebody was here. More so than before. So yeah, I mean, definitely just kind of reach out to anybody that you need help with. Life coach, counselor, that they're the best way to go. I mean, it's helped me tremendously. But yeah, like I said, I'm making these videos a little short, and I'm probably repeating myself. So if I am, I'm sorry. I mean, I'll get better at this. I'm not the best, but I will get better. I do, like I said, and one thing I will say, and I do want to reiterate this, is please find friends that you can really talk to, or converse with, or I mean talk to, so your mind is free from all of the drama that goes on with your parents. And like I said, if they're fighting, it's not because of you, it's because they're trying to figure out how to co-parent. And that's always the case, just really just, you know don't think it's always your fault. So but I'm gonna actually conclude this video. I don't know, I think I might have probably reiterated myself a lot in this video, but I'm gonna conclude this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.